Welcome to Spill the Tea in the Plot, where today's topic is
Is romantasy overrated and too much sex? So let's just
okay.
dive into it. What do you think? Is romantasy overrated?
Plain and simple, yes. Plain and simple,
Mhm,
yes. There's several levels to my answer, but plain and simple, yes. I feel that any genre
mhm.
nowadays get labeled as romantasy just because it is a hot topic at the moment. That's what I feel. What about you, Monica?
See, I think I'm in the middle, honestly, when it comes to
Mhm.
romantasy. Like you mentioned, there's certain books right now that are being labeled as romantasy that are
Mhm.
not romantasy. They're just being used for the hype
Yeah.
and they're being labeled as romantasy. And I'm
Mhm.
like, this book is just romance. There is no plot. There is nothing really that has to do with the fantasy world, but we're just sticking something into it so that it could make money. And you know how like booktube right now and book talk right now is like advertising books. So people are just gonna get on a
Yeah.
trend is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's the fact that, no offense, no king shame to anybody, right, in the channel whatsoever. They also have romantasy as just erotic books. Let's be honest. Erotic books is not the same as
That's true.
romantasy. There is a plain difference between erotic and romantasy.
Mhm.
Just so we're clear, just so we're on the
Yeah.
same level, because a lot of people mix them up. And I have personally opened some books that I think are going to be Court and Thorns or, something like that. And then I open up a book and it's just the whole book. It's the truth. It's the truth.
No, it's true.
You ca I
It
feel
is
like
true.
every single person has gone through that phase where you get a book, you're like, beautiful cover, beautiful everything, Book Talk is promoting
Mhm.
it. You get to the book and it's no, just no.
Yeah.
Like a little bit is okay, but there's a point that it gets excessive. We have to agree on that.
Do you Well, why do you think like those specific books are being advertised, right? Do you think it's just because of like the smut that's in it, or do you think there's any other thing in the book that they like? Because personally, for me, one of the things I realized is like some of these books is just smut. That's it, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
why even label it as romantic? And why do you think like even the booktubers or the YouTubers are labeling it as romantic? Is it selling? Is it people receiving arcs and not labeling it as that?
I believe firmly that it's more about the selling point of the book. I just feel like there's so many great books that
Mm.
are associated with romantasy that even just because you have a
Mhm.
mythical creature, they put it as romantasy, even though it's really not romantasy in a sense of that sense. It'll be more paranormal or
Mhm.
romance, or we just have to be more broad with our themings. We really do. I feel like it's
Mhm.
oversold, to be honest.
That's true, honestly. As some of it wasn't booked like back in 2014 and then now, it's just like
Hmm.
romantasy was not a thing like back during that
Yeah.
time. It was just like you had a book, it was either fantasy or dystopian or
Hmm.
that's it. Like there wasn't like anything as romantasy. I felt as if romantasy is a term that like recently started rising up to
Yeah.
fame, honestly. And it did give a lot of female authors a space to write. That I have to say, because within the
It's
romantasy
lovely.
category, it's just like you see a lot more women, which is great. And I love to see that,
It's
and I love
great.
supporting women in writing, especially in
Mhm.
fantasy. Men used to
I agree.
dominate that field. Well, technically, still dominate the fantasy. But it's just like now it's like you have romantasy, which is a space for women to really write. A lot of them are writing the same thing. It's just like you have a weak character, right? It's just usually she's 18 and it pisses me off because I'm like, I'm not 18 and I would really love to
No.
see a character older than 18. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's like she falls in love for this one guy she's not supposed to, right? And it's like supposed to be frenemies. But
Mhm.
then it's like, it's not really frenemy. You found this person attractive from the beginning and you couldn't, your heart was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it, I get it. And I see where you're coming from with that. It's a lot of overplayed plots. That's what I feel like this industry is drowning in. It's a lot of overplayed plots and not a lot of creativity when it
Mhm.
comes to the point of like creating stories or anything like that. That's why, there's certain authors that stand out more than
Mhm.
others because some of the stories are
Mhm.
great, but they just don't have plot to the story half the time. It's things that you can get
That's true.
out of the beginning of the book, and that's really not interesting.
Mhm.
Like, you'll read a few pages of it and then just get
Mhm.
tired of it.
No, that's true. And some of these authors are, like you mentioned, are great authors. But it's just like, I think right now, one of the things that the community is struggling with is differentiating
Mhm,
romantasy. This is fantasy that has romance in it. Like, and I
mhm,
personally, on my side, is like, I love romantasy, that. It's just like, I love reading it. But I found that it's too repetitive, number
yeah,
one. But then when you switch like fantasy that has romance, it's just like you still have the plot, you still have the building, right? But then it's just
Yes.
like the romance is still here. You still have the yearning, you still have the want, the need. But it's just like if you're labeling something as romantasy and it's enemy to lover, can they please hate each other? Because it's like
Mhm.
by chapter 2, she's already falling in love with him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how can you possibly hate? Like, I need, maybe we just haven't found the book yet, but it's just like, I needed to, like, you need to hate this character. Like, hate to the last level, hate this
You
character.
need to
But
see him
you
wanna be
haven't been able
under
to,
your foot.
yes, yes.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And
I
and
get
at
it.
least, you know what, maybe I haven't read enough books to be able to be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay." But I'm just like, I just wanna see that it's like romantasy, yes, romance is important, but, like, the plot, like, I'm just tired of the girl being weak and needs a savior to save, yeah.
Oh.
But do you think, like, even with fantasy, does romantasy need to have sex in it?
I think there's a time and place. I think there's a time and place where there should be, because it creates a dynamic between the main
Mhm,
character and the heroine or whoever is the counterpart. I feel like it's an important asset of the story, but it shouldn't be the main part of
mhm,
the story. That's what I feel like. I
mhm,
feel that if it's just
yeah,
a little bit at a time, like here and there and whatever, it's great. But if the sex portions are dominating the whole
mhm,
story, I personally feel that
mhm,
that's not a great book, right? I don't know what your
mhm,
opinion is, but at least
yeah,
that's mine. I can leave it or have it, but I prefer it.
mhm,
But not a lot either. What about you?
mhm. It's just like a I think honestly it needs to be, here's the thing, I think it can be too much if it's down the line. Honestly,
100%.
right? It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, you have the plot is set, the
Mhm.
characters have developed enough, right? It's just like
Mhm.
you're able to not only learn the characters individually, you went to that yearning process, you went on that journey, and then let's just say you want to dedicate a whole chapter to just them exploring that. I think that is completely fine. I think the problem that I'm having with romantasy is that sometimes it's just like chapter 5, chapter 7, chapter 9, chapter 12. It's like every other chapter. Some books that I've read, that's just it. And there's nothing wrong with people who enjoy reading those, honestly. I'm like, as long as you're reading, but it's just like for
Yeah.
me personally, I'm like, it's, yeah, it's not, it's too much,
I
honestly.
can agree with you. I can agree that there needs to be plot, there needs to be development, and there also needs to
Mhm,
be a connection. If there's not a connection, it's not a time and place for
mhm.
any sexual interactions because
That's true.
it just makes the book weird. Not even weird, overwhelming because you're not expecting
Mhm.
what you're getting. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. And remember when we went to BookCon, and I can't remember which author was saying it, where it's just like people want to buy what they're buying, right?
Yeah.
It's like if we're buying romantasy, we expect romantasy
Mhm. And it's true.
and
Like
things
I
like
said,
that.
book talk book talk has a really influential part about all this because there are certain
Mhm,
people that can promote a book as much as they can, but if they don't read it, if they go based off what people are liking right now,
mhm,
you're not gonna get what you like. I'm gonna be just quite honest and put it out there.
mhm,
You're not gonna get what you like. Just for the simple fact that someone
mhm.
can label a book as romantasy, but it has more fantasy than romantasy. It might not be what you like, might not
That's
be what
true.
you're into. Or it could be just a random orc passes through the field and it's romantasy. No, it's not. That's not it. It's true. I have had books just like that, which is like you're expecting a fantastical world and then something just random happens
Yeah,
and it's like that's not
yeah.
romantasy. Let's just be honest, it's not. And it's not what you're expecting. And I feel like a lot of books get a
Mhm,
bad rap just because of the promotion. That's why I don't agree with Romantasy. It just they get bad reps for promotions.
mhm. I think it's a money grab, honestly. It's a money grab. I think too, one of the
Yeah.
things that I've realized is sometimes booktubers and booktoppers just want to fit in.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but I also wish like people were just like automatically honest and just be like, you know what, I like this or I did not. Like there are certain popular books right now on BookTube that people are overhyping. I could not finish it because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a lie. But I feel as if it's like sometimes they want to appeal to a specific audience. They want to get these publishing companies to send them books. So they're like, okay, I'm going to pretend I like this book just for the purpose of receiving it. But I think there's
Mhm.
also another situation I realize is that when it comes to the topic of romantasy, it is also dominated by white people. So
I
it's like, I
can't
think that's
say.
also,
Yeah, I can't say that I've looked into that. But you might be right, to be honest.
no, that
But
is one, like, I'm like, in a sense where I say it is dominated by white people, I'm not saying like black people don't write fantasy. That's not what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It's just like majority of the books that are being pushed out are written by white authors. Like recently, actually, I was online. I'm like Googling romantasy books by POCs. It's just majority of the things that are being pushed out is also by like are not by minorities. So I also wonder if that also plays a role into it, honestly, if the writing is different.
I can personally say that I've kind of noticed a little bit. Like I haven't looked into it as much as you have, but I have noticed that not a lot of Hispanics, not a lot of Asian, not a lot of
Mhm.
Haitian, different cultures. Because we all have a type of fantasy in our blood. You know what I mean? We all come from a
That's
rich,
true.
deep
Yes.
folklore, and we all have our stories. I just feel that
Mhm.
you might be right in the sense of them not promoting other books that they're not used to. Now, that's a controversial thought.
Mhm.
It's a very controversial thought, but I just feel that, everybody deserves a chance. And a lot of the books are overhyped, like
Mhm.
we've just been talking about. So there's that.
That's true. And that's why we're reading A Court of Thorns and
Hmm.
Roses because we want to
To get
see
over
if
and
it
done
is
with.
actually worth the hype.
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm being so serious. If I spend money on that book and I find out it's not good, I will be mad
You will be upset.
because
And
people have
again,
been
that's
hyping. That's a waste of my money. And it's not even available on Kindle Unlimited. Like, that would have saved me so much money. Well, mine is book
by the
outlet
way,
is
just
having a
so
sale,
we're
by
all
the way.
clear, we are bargain baddies in this channel. We like cheap,
Oh, yes.
inexpensive, and good. So we try as much
Yes.
as we can for books
Girl,
like that. Tips and hacks, but
the library
maybe in the
needs.
future, maybe in the future there will be a video, but not right now. But yeah, I
I know.
I feel
To
that
rent.
I'll be thoroughly disappointed, to be honest, if I read the book and it doesn't match up to how people are hyping it. Because it's been pushed to everybody for so long since it came out. It's been a
Oh,
popular
yeah.
book. Book one, book two, book three, book four. So if we end up reading the book and it's really not that good, we're thoroughly gonna be disappointed.
I'm not going to take recommendations from these people anymore. That's for sure, honestly.
I feel that. I
I
feel that.
I think
And
one of
we
the things
might be
I would
reading.
love. No, you were saying something? You said you might be reading?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say we might be reading Fourth Wing at some point. We don't know yet. It's on, our list. It hasn't been decided yet, but it's in our list. But that might be a
No,
possibility
I'm not
later
gonna
down the
say
road.
anything. I'm not gonna say anything because I read the first chapter of that book.
Hmm.
All I'm saying is that's all I got.
And that's not a lot of help. Genuinely, I love you, but that's not
Not
a
at
lot of
all.
help.
Not at all. Well, I was curious. I was curious. I was curious. But I did buy the book actually. I have it. But I haven't read it. I've
We've
been
been
reading way too many
reading.
books.
What's the book? Oh, we haven't announced it yet. We can't. I'm like, we haven't announced it yet. I can't
Oh,
say that,
oh
but
yeah, it's
it's
good
a
though.
really good book. It's a
It's good. It
it's
is.
a really good book.
It is. And I haven't heard a lot of people here talk about it, but it's been good.
Wait and see
So
for a video
overall,
that will be
honestly,
coming up in the next few weeks, but it's a really good book.
yeah, sometimes.
It's interesting.
But to honestly, I think my last thought I want to say honestly about Romantasy is I love Romantasy. I want it to be a space where writers can continue to write. And I do even want to
Yeah.
see men go into Romantasy. Like, I would love to see it. And I think my only thing with Romantasy that I would love to see is please more plots. I would appreciate it. And please stop
Mhm.
making these about 18-year-olds. Like, make them a little older. Please also have some sort of world building. Also, that would be great. And if you
Yeah.
tell me something is romantasy, make sure it's actually romantasy. And I know there's different type of romantasy, but make sure it's like a balance out. Like, there's like equal amount of fantasy and equal amount of romance. So that's my last thought. What
Don't
about
let
you?
it be lacking. Don't let it be lacking because a lot of books nowadays are lacking in a lot of things. I feel like writing has gone down a slope, and as of yet, I haven't found an author that has like stunned me. But we will see because we're
Mhm.
doing a series, so we will see if we find something that we like.
Yeah.
So we'll let you
And thank
guys
you for
know, and
coming
we'll
and
do.
hearing.
Hmm?
No,
But yeah, thank you for coming to our weekly chats. But we'll see.
yeah, thanks for coming along. See you guys sometime next week. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on TikTok also. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.